Working with AI can get very frustrating, especially when you're working with code. So don't let AI make you feel anxious or angry or frustrated. I'm here taking on a full project from start to finish live with you guys. So you will get to see how I solve problems when working with AI. And trust me, there will be problems. So if you're looking to build an app with AI, this will be the only video you need to watch before you dive in. I'm gonna use the latest AI tools and models like Figma Make and Lovable and Gemini 2.5. I'll show you how you can design and build everything for free, and I'll compare the free and the paid methods for you. This is gonna be good. Let's do this together. In my last video, I asked you guys in the comments to give me an idea for my next video, and a user by the name You Hate Me the Most suggested a real estate app. Thank you, You Hate Me the Most. Let's do this. I'm gonna start from scratch with just one piece of requirement, a real estate website. I did not prepare for this video at all, just to bring you the raw and real experience of building a fully functional product with AI. And I'll try to do it for the lowest cost possible. Alright, so we're gonna start with a prompt. You can use any AI chat platform. If you don't have a pro plan with an AI chat platform, you can use Google AI Studio by going to aistudio.google.com. And there you can use their pro model for free. So I'm just simply gonna enter this prompt here. I'm building a real estate website. Ask me questions one by one until we reach a solid project brief that will guide the whole design process. This is telling the AI to ask me questions one by one. That way my answers will influence the next question. And of course, if you have any requirements, enter them here in the initial prompt. But I'm just vibe designing here, so I have no requirements at all. And I want to come up with the best possible solution along with AI. So when you're in AI Studio, make sure you select the Pro model at the top right here. Make sure you have 2.5 Pro selected and enter your prompt. So now it's starting to ask me questions one by one. For the first question, target audience, I said buyers and sellers. And then we have a new question. I'll say both for commercial and residential properties. It's really cool how it's guiding you through these questions by following UX principles and methodology. So now it's telling me to put myself in the user's shoes and to envision how the process is going to be so that we can optimize for the best user experience. This is a great way to start any project. Just simply get the AI to conduct an interview with you to extract all the requirements that you might have. Okay, so now we have a clean and clear project brief that summarizes everything that we talked about. All of the features, the interactions from the seller's side and from the buyer's side. We're covering the whole user journey here. So this is beautiful to have as a starting point. Now I'm going to ask it to create a sitemap so that we have a foundation for the product. Okay, now that we have a sitemap, we know exactly what pages are required. And now we can start coming up with the contents of the homepage so that we have the foundation of the homepage, what it includes, what are the content blocks, the components. So I said, give me the contents of the homepage UI from top to bottom, include only elements, components, and building blocks. And I don't want to worry about the styling and UI specs right now. So I don't want to see padding and margins and borders. All of that we'll leave for the design later. So now I have a detailed breakdown of every element in the homepage. You have the header, the hero section, the social proof, how it works, featured properties, discover a neighborhood, final call to action, blog, and footer. Let's quickly come up with a name for the app. Alright, I guess the app is called Kindred. Feel free to steal the name, I'm not gonna register it or anything. And now we're gonna jump straight into the UI design. I'm gonna open UX Pilot, and we're only gonna build the homepage, so you can do it for free in UX Pilot because If you click on the link in my description, you get 90 credits, and we only need the design for the homepage, and the rest will be built while we're coding the UI. I'm gonna start a new design file here. I'll call it Kindred. And here you can enter your styling that you want for your app. If you don't have a specific styling, you can enter keywords that should inspire the styling of the website. Like here, I'm entering trust and good vibes and friendly. This will guide the styling of the page to use more trustful colors and friendly vibes. And here we're gonna select hi-fi design and desktop. If you're creating a mobile app, select mobile here. And now I'm gonna copy the contents of the homepage from Gemini and I'll paste it here. And to get the best result here, I'm gonna select deep design, and I just added a new feature that is max. It will add up on top of deep design to get you the most accurate UI. So I think it's worth it to give it a try to get the best result right away. Okay, so to show you the difference between all three different modes in UX Pilot, I generated the same page with the same prompt using deep design plus max for the first one, and only deep design for the second one, and the default model for the third one. And you can immediately see the difference when you have a deep design plus max selected. It creates a very detailed page with a lot of content in the UI that follows the instructions very accurately. Now the other two also follow the instructions accurately, but the one with Max is adding a lot of detail and a lot of good improvements over the UI. To start with, at the top, with the hero section, they all look similar. There's not much difference there, but you can see how the social proof here with the Max design is more attractive. Rather than just putting logos, it added numbers here. And in this one, it's way more simplified, but it included numbers as well. But the Max design just seems more fleshed out. And another difference is the Max design added more cards and better looking UI for the cards as well. It also added this market insights and trends, which is really cool to see when you're looking at a real estate website. And the call to action also here shows you the top agents with a button with the main section for the call to action below that. But the other two just look like a regular template. So I'm really impressed with the Max design, because these two just look like a regular template, very typical design. Here it's more thought out and more engaging. So yeah, better design is gonna cost you more. It might be worth it if you have a complex page. If you have a simple page with simple instructions, you can go with the default model. All right, we're gonna go with the Max design. Let's delete the other two. Now you can jump straight into building this page, but I wanted to create the two other main pages for the seller and for the buyer because they are very distinct and they might have a lot of design elements required and new components and such. Usually in a less complex app, I would design the homepage only and then I will build the rest while coding it. But for this project, I'm gonna design the homepage, the seller page, the buyer page, and then we'll start developing the rest of the website with AI coding tools. So to do that, I'm gonna go back to Gemini here, and I'm gonna say, let's build the buyer's page, and same for the sellers. And these two pages should cover pretty much all of the components that I'm gonna need in my website. The rest of the pages will be based on everything that we design here. There we go, we have the content for buyers. I'll just copy everything here, go back to UX Pilot, for buyers page, I'll paste the contents, and here I'm gonna reference this page so that it stays consistent with it. I'll click reference and select this page here. I'm gonna turn on Max. Now we don't need deep design here. I guess deep design makes it think about what to include, but if we're already referencing a page, it already knows what the styling and everything should look like. So I'm gonna keep Max turned on. And there we go. We have a beautiful page for buyers. It includes all of the instructions. And now I'll go back to the sitemap to see the next page that I want to create. Maybe I need to create the quiz because the buyers and sellers pages are going to be similar. So I don't need to create the sellers page Sorry, I keep changing my mind, but I'm doing vibe designing here. So yeah, this is how it works. You just go with whatever comes up. You just adapt to the process that you come up with AI. So I'm going to start with designing the 2.1 lifestyle and vibe quiz because I think it's essential to see the elements and how the quiz is going to look like. So this quiz includes 5 steps here. That's what Gemini suggested. You can go with designing each step on its own because each step is a screen on its own. But you can also try to include everything in one prompt and see what UX Pilot can come up with because UX Pilot comes up with interactive designs. So it could include everything in one design page. So let's copy everything and see what it comes up with. So now I have my 2 pages here. I'm gonna reference this page and I'll paste the prompt here. And at the beginning, we're gonna enter the page name. And there we go. It created the questionnaire page. This should be interactive. Double click on it so you can interact. And let's see. We click on start the quiz. There we go. It's interactive. Now you can enter the process and there's a progress bar at the top. You click next. I should enter a location. There we go. Next. Beautiful. You can here select what you want from these and then click next. And then you have sliders to enter your preferences. And then we go last step and it's animated. Here it's supposed to redirect me to the results. That's really cool. The whole questionnaire is implemented with interaction. So now we have our 3 essential pages here. This should be enough to guide the rest of the design. And of course, you can hit preview here to see the working design in a browser. All right, now to build this, you have multiple options. There's a lot of coding AI tools now. If you have a Figma account, you can try Figma Make. They have a new AI coding tool that will build any website for you. If you want to do that, you can import your design from UX Pilot to Figma. Let's save these 3 pages. Let's start by importing our design to a regular Figma project. We'll open the UX Pilot plugin here. And here you should see in the Retrieve in Figma tab your 3 pages. I'm gonna import them here. And we have our home page. Then the next screen. And the quiz. Now to start building this with Figma Make, I really think they should have called it Fig Make. Like they already have FigJam. Fig Make sounds right, but Figma Make. Okay, we'll open Figma Make. We'll create a new Make project. And I'm just gonna copy the frame here and paste it here. Now at the same time, I'm gonna build it with Lovable to show you again the difference between Lovable and Figma Make to see what works better with implementing actual working features and a database and stuff like that. And if you want to save money building this website, you can also use the Google Gemini Pro plan. It will also be able to build your website for you. To do that, I'm gonna go to UX Pilot and hit the View Source Code button here at the top. And you can copy the code for the homepage on the side panel on the right side. And let's compare with Lovable. I'll say also build this homepage. And here you can paste the code, but if your code doesn't fit here, you can attach an image of your design. So I'll just export this. I attached the image here and I said, build this homepage. There we go. Figma also successfully created the homepage for us. It includes everything exactly as we designed it in UX Pilot. Now we're going to go to the page where we can build apps with Google Gemini, also in AI Studio. So go to aistudio.google.com/apps. And here I'm going to say, build this homepage for Kindred. And I'll paste the code. And here's Lovable with a complete page, but it looks different than the design we had. It doesn't look bad at all, but it's different. There's no button here, and there's no navigation at the top. And with the Google App Builder, we can see that it created all of the files and the code base, and you can connect it to GitHub here, which is really cool. You can also deploy, and there we go. Now we have for buyers and for sellers, and we have the page exactly as we designed it. Really cool. But Lovable always adds a nice touch with animation and interaction in the website. Now here's what happened. Lovable could not accept the context of the whole code that was generated by UX Pilot, because UX Pilot is generating more and more complex code, and you saw how big the page was. I could not paste the code in Lovable, so I had to attach an image. And when you're building with Lovable based on an image, it's less accurate than building with the exact code that you got. So for this project, since we have a huge context window for the landing page, we're not gonna go with Lovable because there's a lot of differences between the design and what we built with Lovable. So I'm gonna proceed with Google Gemini and with Figma Make. Now let's copy the code from UX Pilot for the second page. I'm gonna build a quiz now. So I'm gonna copy the code for the quiz page. Let's head back to Figma, and in Figma Make, I'm gonna give it the code. The imported design from UX Pilot to Figma did not include all the steps, so I don't have the design for them in my Figma file. So I'm gonna copy the code and see if Figma Make can make it. In Figma Make, I said, make the buyer's quiz based on the following code, and I pasted my code, and I was able to include all of the code inside of the prompt box here. And while Figma Make is working, let's jump back into our Google project. So here we have our homepage. It created different content for when you have buyers and sellers selected. So I'm gonna say the same for Google Gemini. So I said the same thing here based on the following code, build the buyer's quiz, and I pasted all of my code in here. And Gemini is done. Let's see if the quiz is working. There we go. Perfect, just like we had it in the design. Step 1, start the quiz, enter a country, enter a location. Next, we can select here as many as we want, or just 3. Then we hit next. And here we're supposed to have sliders, but I don't see the sliders here. And there we go, it redirected, and it's supposed to redirect to the results. So with the Gemini, it's missing the sliders. Let's check in on Figma Make. There we go, it's done. Let's click on take the quiz. Working properly. Next, select. It looks better here. There's a lot of micro interactions in Figma Make that are nicer. And the sliders are working. So Figma Make is impressively accurate and it's working very well. And the interaction and the micro interactions are really nice. You can see the micro animations on the button here. And there we go. And now it should be redirecting. Okay, that works. I think so far the best result we're getting is in Figma Make. And in Gemini also the progress bar is not working properly. But in Figma, the progress bar is working. Okay, this is beautiful. Now we can make these things work inside of Gemini by telling it, let's try to make it work. So I said make the progress bar work for the quiz. And I also said add sliders to the tell us more about your ideal vibe page. There we go, Gemini is done. Let's see if it's working properly. The progress bar is working and the sliders are working as well. So we got them both to work properly now. Let's move on to the next step. I'm gonna go back to the sitemap that we had in the Gemini conversation. And right now, all we need to do is say what we need to build and build it from the sitemap to the AI coding tool. What I need right now is the results page. I'll just copy this. And for Gemini, I'll say build the neighborhood results page and what it does. I'll copy the same prompt and I'll go back to Figma Make. And here I will say the same prompt. So here with Google Gemini, it seems like it added a AI-powered content and a results page and an interactive map. Let's see what it came up with. Take the quiz. It did not show me any results, although it did develop the results page, but it's not linking to it properly. I'll prompt it. And in Figma Make, let's see the results. And there we go. Beautiful. It showed me the result cards with micro interactions and micro animations. Wow, this is completely beautiful and detailed. There's a map here. And the map is interactive and it works. When you select something, it will select it in the sidebar. When you select something in the results, you will see it selected on the map. And it's also giving me neighborhood information when I select something on the map as well. If you select a specific result, it shows you all of the properties for this neighborhood. These are all features that I didn't request, but they're beautiful. It even gave me a filter by walk score, which is, I guess that's a very good quality of life improvement. And it added filters at the top, and the filters are working. Beautiful. And there's a call to action at the end as well, which is amazing. So yeah, Figma Make is doing something right, and it's amazing. So Google here is implementing AI-powered result page. I didn't ask for that, but it's doing that on its own because it's Google, and it's easy for Google to implement Gemini in any app, so it's doing that. Gemini gave me an error here, so let's autofix. Okay, so Gemini is spiraling with errors. It kept giving me errors, tried to fix it again and again, but it's not working. So I'm gonna jump back to restore it to a working version. I'll go back to this step here where we added the progress bar. I'll copy this same prompt because it worked in Figma Make, so it should work here. I'll say restore to checkpoint. And here we have a working product. Now let's enter the same prompt again, see if it works the second time. I just added that it should be displayed after the quiz is complete. Let's see if it works this time. It keeps insisting on adding AI-powered results. I think this tool is built for building apps with AI implementation inside of them, because all of the examples you see coming out of the Gemini builder are apps with AI in them. Okay, let's see if it's working now. It says our AI is analyzing your preferences. So it's actually looking for real data here. There we go. We have a huge map and results on the side. It's interactive. And there's tags in each result, but there's no proceed button here. Let's try to add the next feature that we have in our sitemap. I'll go back to the sitemap here. And the next thing we have is the property search results. I'll copy this. So this should be enough information for it to do that. And back in Figma Make, I'll say the same. These are really cool features that we added in our app here. Based on the questionnaire that we answered at the very beginning, we mentioned that we want to focus on neighborhoods and vibes. So this questionnaire focused on finding a neighborhood first, and then it gave us a result of neighborhoods. And then once we select a neighborhood, we can see the listings results. I think that would differentiate your app from any other app in the market because it's focusing on the user experience and tackling user needs. Now, the design we got in Figma Make is much, much better than what we got from Gemini. There we go. We have results based on our city. I entered Toronto here and it gave me the actual areas in Toronto, but it's still not letting me proceed. I said add a view listings button to see the listings results once a neighborhood is selected, because that should be the flow of the app. Figma Make is still working. I think Figma Make is using Claude, that's why it's coming up with much better code. So it's asking the AI here to show me all of the properties. Let's see if it worked now in Gemini. Okay, so it added a button here, which is beautiful. The map isn't showing anything anymore. Let's see if we select view properties here. And there we go. It's actually giving me real data here because it's using AI. Now we have a map with properties. Okay, so let's see what Figma Make has come up with. We'll take the test again. Okay, so it's showing me the view properties here on each result, which is good. Okay, so when we click on view properties, it spits out an error. And this is the first error that Figma Make has made. Let's try to say fix it for me. I'm gonna tell Google to add a view listing button to each listing in the results. Okay, let's see what Gemini has come up with. Okay, gonna click view properties. And we still cannot see the view listings, the view details. It said here it added property details page, but I cannot see it. And with Figma, let's see if it added the button. So if we select this one, there we go. We can now see the properties in Figma Make. Load more, micro interactions, favorite, share. These are really nice results here. And we can change the view as well. We can even see it on the map. Wow, that is very detailed. There you have it. Figma Make is crushing it. Let's see if Gemini is working now. Okay, view properties. Okay, I can see the new button now. If I click on one, let's see if I can see the listing. There we go, it worked. So I have the photo and all of the details, and then contact agent. Okay, so we have both apps working right now. Let's move forward. Now back in the sitemap, we added all of these. We added the property detail page. We can do the same for sellers. You can see how long it's taking to build this website with AI. but it's much, much faster than doing it manually, of course. Now, let's jump straight into adding a database and launching the website. Of course, it needs a lot more work, but for the purpose of this video, it's all going to be repetitive from now on. We created the buyer's page, we created the questionnaire, the quiz, and we added the results and the interactive map. All of that is working properly. We can do the same for the buyer's side, where there's also a quiz and a way to match with buyers and to add listings as well. But I'm going to skip all of that now, and let's go straight into adding a database. Now, I've had problems with adding a database in Figma Make before. Let's see if that works now. In Figma Make, you can go into the settings at the top right here, and here you can enter your project details and your favicon and everything you need to include in the code of the website, like Google Analytics and stuff like that. And you can also add your domain name as well inside of the Figma website. But the problem I'm having here, let's see if the database can connect. Yeah, this link is not working. Yeah, this could be a temporary problem with Figma Make, but I don't know if it's going to be resolved anytime soon. Let's see if I prompt Figma Make to implement a Supabase database, if that works. Okay, so in Figma, it's telling me that I can set up my Supabase here, and it's giving me a button to connect. Let's see if that works. Still not working. So the integration with Supabase and Figma Make is currently broken. By the time you watch this video, it might have been solved already. Let me know in the comments. So if your goal today was to create a prototype, you can do it with Google Gemini or with Figma Make or with Lovable. But if you're looking to create a fully working product, I think your best bet now is to go with Lovable. Lovable gives the least amount of errors and has the best integration with Supabase. The only issue I had here was that my code was very long, but I could have prompted it to fix the layout based on my design. And if you just wanted a prototype, you can publish it on the web here and send it to anyone to test it and review the design. Like here, I can go to publish, and then I'll click publish. And now I have a published link with a URL that I can open in the web. So this will be your prototype link that is fully working and live on the web. So in terms of UI design, I think Figma Make is right up there with Lovable. They both create really good UI and adhere very well to my intentions. But Lovable has a smaller context limit for now at least, so that was a problem for me. Other than that, it's very comparable with Make. And now Gemini struggled a lot, but it's still not a fully fleshed out platform. But the nice thing is that you can use it for free, so experimenting with it will not cost you anything, so go ahead and try it. It might work really well for your project. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, I'll answer everything down in the comments. And now, let's get back to work.